In the fog of war, some names rise, not just for their rank, but for the weight of their choices. Col Etuk, commander of Nigerian Army's 16th Battalion, was a key player in the brutal campaign of the Nigerian Civil War. Known for his discipline, command presence, and frontline leadership, Etuk's battalion was involved in critical battles that shaped the war's direction. Major Ted Hamman, a British-born officer who served in the Nigerian military, brought with him tactical expertise, battlefield innovation, and a reputation for bold decision-making. He stood out not just as a foreigner in Nigerian uniform, but as a figure whose influence reached deep into the war's effort. Hi guys, welcome to our Professor Story. On today's episode, we look at two great soldiers of the Nigerian Civil War, the soldiers of the 16th Brigade, Col Etuk and Major Hamman, brothers in arms, divided by duty and united by war. Do stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Throughout this video, we will refer to this fine officer as Etuk. In some publications, he is referred to as Etuk, but we have used Etuk because this is what was used in most recent official army publications on the Nigerian Civil War. Colonel Emmanuel Akpan Etuk was admitted into the Boys Company Nigerian Military School in 1954 at age 14. In 1958, he graduated from Nigerian Military School NMS and was a soldier at the Officer Preparatory School at Apapa in Lagos. He was selected for further officer cadet training at Fort Dix in New Jersey, followed by 6 months of cavalry and armor training at Fort Knox in Kentucky, both in the United States, as part of the United States Army Air Forces Officer Leadership Training Program of that era. He was commissioned second lieutenant in June 1963, underwent further training, and was welcomed home in 1964 by the then Minister of Defense, Alhaji Muhammadu Ribadu. Etuk served as a subaltern in the 4th Battalion at Ibadan under the late Lieutenant Colonel Abogo Lagema. As a captain, he was deployed to the 2nd Brigade at Apapa under the late Brigadier Zakari Mai Malari. During the countdown to the war, he rejected an invitation by Colonel Effiong to return to the eastern region to fight under Ojukwu. He was subsequently a staff officer operations, charged with weapons acquisition under Lieutenant Colonel Elijah Bisala at Army Headquarters, and went on arms purchasing missions abroad of Nigeria on the onset of the Civil War. In October 1967, Lieutenant Colonel Bisala prevented Lieutenant Colonel Murtala Mohammed from drafting Etuk into the 2nd Division for the disastrous Onitsha Assault River crossing. However, he was later literally hijacked by Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Maja Adekunle and deployed to the 3rd Division as the officer commanding the 8th Battalion in Calabar. After battalion operations in the Calabar-Itu-Ikotekbene axis, he was deployed to Port Harcourt as commander, 16th Brigade. As a field major, he took part in the successful 3rd Marine Commando campaign for Port Harcourt, along with officers like Lieutenant Colonel Philemon Shande, Lieutenant Colonel Pius Eromobo, Major George Ini, and initially Adakaboro, amongst others. After the fall of Port Harcourt, Etuk was tasked as a field lieutenant colonel with the capture of Owerri as part of Operation OAU. As the commander of the subsequently beleaguered 16th Brigade, he emerged among all Nigerian field commanders of the Civil War as the most highly thought of by the Biafran opponents. According to Madiebo, the enemy force at Owerri was the 16th Brigade under a young Calabar officer called Etuk, was easily the best fighting unit fielded by Nigeria throughout the war. Right from Port Harcourt, and particularly at Afam, it had become obvious that the brigade was a force well led. Inside Owerri, they fought with extraordinary courage, flexibility, and determination. The withdrawal of the brigade from Owerri was tactically tidy and well planned and executed. Without doubt, no other Nigerian brigade would have withstood for more than a month the punishment the enemy brigade absorbed with patience for over 4 months. Only that brigade would have got out of Owerri under the circumstances. If you find this video worthwhile, please take out some time to smash a like and subscribe to the channel as it goes a long way in supporting our efforts. Thank you. Now let's get back to the video. After the Owerri debacle, Lieutenant Colonel Etuk was temporarily appointed garrison commander for Port Harcourt before returning to command the newly reinvigorated 16th Brigade under the new 3rd Marine Commando commander during Operation Tailwind, the final offensive of the war. His second in command this time around was Captain Buhari, a former NCO and Concessional Commission officer who had distinguished himself during the Owerri breakout. However, Madebo is not the only former Biafran military leader to complement Etuk. When the war finally ended in January 1970, after Ojukwu and Madebo had fled into exile, Etuk joined Colonel Obasanjo for a meeting with Biafran High Command, which was going through the process of surrendering. After the formal introductions, Colonel Joe Hannibal Achuzia, who mostly commanded the Biafran Republic of Benin Division, but had faced Etuk in battle at various times in Port Harcourt and Owerri, asked, "Are you the Etuk who gave us all these headaches and all these troubles?" Etuk later privately hosted Biafran Chief of General Staff and COS, Major General Philip Effiong, for a meal. Effiong reportedly said, "You this boy, you gave us headache." Unlike many of his contemporaries, Colonel Etuk kept a low profile. He wasn't flamboyant, he wasn't political. But those who served under him described him as a man who led from the front with a firm belief in structure, obedience and restraint. An important contrast during a war that became infamous for its human costs. Though not a headline figure like Murtala Mohammed or Benjamin Adekunle, Etuk's leadership earned respect from both his men and his peers. He was seen as part of a generation of officers who held the army together during its most critical trial. After the war, Etuk, like many other officers, faded quietly into the background of military history, overshadowed by ladder figures. Yet, in the stories told by veterans, his name is spoken with a kind of reverence, the mark of a soldier who fought without seeking glory, who upheld duty above ambition. Colonel E.A. Etuk was retired from the Nigerian Army in January 1979. After retirement, Etuk faded from the public eye. There is no confirmed public records of his death or any obituary in available archives. This suggests that he may still be living, or if not, that his passing wasn't publicly documented or widely reported. Major Ted Hamman, as he was popularly known, grew up in Maiduguri. He entered the Nigerian Military Training College on December 10, 1962, along with now well-known personalities like Ibrahim Babangida, Garba Duba, Mamman Vatsa, etc. After 6 months of basic training, he proceeded to the Mons Officer Cadet School at Adeschutes in the UK. He was commissioned second lieutenant in February 1964. As a subaltern, he served in the 1st Division at Enugu. He was among the non-Eastern officers and soldiers evacuated from Enugu in September 1966, along with Adekunle, Jallo, Jega, Yaradua and others, when there was a breakout of law and order, following the events of the weekend of July 29, 1966. They went by train to Kaduna and then to Lagos. Upon arrival in Lagos, the unit was redesignated the 6th Battalion at Ikeja Barracks, and Lieutenant Ted Hamman replaced Yaradua as the adjutant. The commander was then Major Benjamin Adekunle. The second in command was Gibson Gallo. Adekunle subsequently moved on to take command of the Lagos Garrison Organization, which had been previously commanded by Anthony Eze. When the Civil War broke out in July 1967, the Lagos Garrison Organization was tasked with operations along the Biafran seaboard, beginning with the capture of Boni in support of the naval blockade. Following the surprise Biafran invasion of the Midwest in August, units of the garrison were deployed from planned operations against Calabar to clear Biafran troops from the riverine areas of the Midwest. They concentrated at Escravos and were subsequently christened the 3rd Marine Commando Division. 3 battalions, the 32 Battalion under Ted Hamman, the 31 Battalion under A.R. Aliyu and the 8th Battalion under Anthony Ochefu took Koko, Sapele and Warri before exploiting northwards to link up with Lieutenant Colonel Murtala Mohammed's 2nd Division. Elements of the 3rd Marine Commando then disengaged from the Midwest, leaving Yaradua, Jega and Jalo behind to merge with 2nd Division and return to carry out Operation Tiger Claw, the seaboard landing and capture of Calabar. The two leading battalions of the Calabar operation were under Ted Hamman and Anthony Ochefu. Hamman commanded the 33 Battalion that set ashore on the Henshaw Town beach. When the 16th Brigade was created, Hamman was ordered to move his 33 Battalion to form up with the two other battalions under Etuk for the assault on Port Harcourt and subsequent Operation OAU. It was as second in command to Etuk during the siege of Owerri that Major Hamman was killed by sniper fire on April 20, 1967. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I would really love to know your thoughts about these two gallant soldiers, Colonel E.A. Etuk and Major Hamman. Please leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button to get more content like this about African history. It's been Emmanuel from AfriVerse Historic. See you in the next video.